She is the future queen. She ranks higher than almost anyone in the room. She has the title, she has the precedence, she has the public adoration, and yet she still curtsies, not once, twice on the same day. Effortlessly, gracefully, perfectly, Kate Middleton just reminded the world why royalty is not about power. It is about respect. It is about tradition. It is about honouring the institution, even when you are seconds away from becoming its head. This is Garter Day 2026. The Princess of Wales arrived in a stunning butter yellow coat dress. She stood alongside Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, and together they executed what royal watchers are calling the perfect double curtsy. Not once. Twice. This is Royal News Spot. And today we are celebrating the grace, the poise and the quiet power of the future Queen. Let me take you inside one of the oldest and most important ceremonies in British royal life. Before I tell you about Kate's curtsy, let me explain what Garter Day actually is. Because this is one of the most significant events on the royal calendar that most people have never heard of. The Order of the Garter is the oldest and most senior order of chivalry in Britain. It was founded by King Edward III nearly 700 years ago in 1348. The inspiration, the tales of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. According to legend, a noblewoman dropped her garter at a court ball. King Edward III picked it up and, seeing the amused and mocking faces around him, declared, "Honi soit qui mal y pense, shame on him who thinks evil of it." That phrase remains the motto of the order to this day. You can see it written in gold letters on the Garter robes. Membership in the Order of the Garter is extremely limited. Only the monarch, the Prince of Wales, and 24 companions are part of the order. These companions are chosen personally by the king, usually former prime ministers, military leaders and public servants who have made significant contributions to national life. The order has no political power. It is purely honorary, but it is one of the highest honours the monarch can bestow. King Edward III created the order to reward his most loyal knights. Today it continues to recognise those who have served the crown and the country with distinction. Every June, the royal family gathers at Windsor Castle for the Garter Day ceremony. It is one of the most colourful and traditional events of the royal year. The ceremony takes place over 2 days, but the main public event is on Monday. This is what happened on June 15th, 2026. The Garter knights and ladies wearing their traditional dark blue velvet robes, velvet hats with white ostrich plumes and gold chains processed down the hill from Windsor Castle's state apartments to St George's Chapel. The robes are stunning, the velvet is deep blue, the plumes are white and dramatic, the chains are heavy and historic. Each knight looks like they have stepped out of a history painting. Thousands of spectators line the route. They come from around the world to watch this ceremony. They stand behind barriers, waving Union Jacks, hoping to catch a glimpse of royalty. The King and Queen lead the procession. The Prince and Princess of Wales typically watch from a special vantage point. And this year, that vantage point was the Galilee porch of St George's Chapel. Let me set the scene for you. On June 15th, 2026, the Princess of Wales arrived at Windsor Castle for the Garter Day ceremony. She was photographed arriving by car, and royal watchers immediately noticed her outfit. She wore a stunning butter yellow coat dress by British designer Patrick McDowell. The fabric was bespoke English rose silk damask, woven specifically for her by Stephen Walters and Sons. Do you know who Stephen Walters and Sons is? They are Britain's oldest silk mill, located in Sudbury, Suffolk. They have been weaving silk since 1720. That is over 300 years of British textile history. The silk damask pattern was bespoke, designed exclusively for the Princess of Wales. The rose motif was chosen deliberately, as it is the national flower of England and one of the symbols of the Tudor dynasty. She paired the coat dress with a wide-brimmed hat by Jane Taylor, a hat maker who was designed for the royal family for years. The hat was the same butter yellow colour, creating a seamless, elegant silhouette. Her earrings were by Robinson Pelham, a British jeweller known for their modern sculptural designs. She wore her hair in a low, elegant chignon, simple, sophisticated, and completely appropriate for a formal ceremony. She looked elegant. She looked poised. She looked every inch the future queen. But here is what makes Kate different from so many others who have held her position. She does not let her status go to her head. As the Garter Knights began their procession, Kate positioned herself at the Galilee porch of St. George's Chapel. This is a traditional vantage point for those who are not members of the order. Standing beside her was Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh. Sophie is married to Prince Edward, the King's youngest brother. She has been a steady, consistent presence in the royal family for years. The King and Queen walked past, and then something beautiful happened. Kate curtsied, not a quick, perfunctory dip, a deep, graceful, picture-perfect curtsy. Her head lowered respectfully, her body dipped smoothly, her hands remained composed at her sides. It was textbook royal etiquette. And Sophie curtsied right alongside her, in perfect synchronization, in perfect timing, in perfect grace. Hello magazine reported that the two royal women executed a perfect double curtsy in perfect unison. Think about that. Two senior royal women, one the future Queen of England, the other a trusted senior royal, and they both paused to show respect to the monarch. This is not about subservience. This is not about being less than. This is about honouring the institution. This is about recognising that the crown is bigger than any one person. But Kate was not done. The service inside St. George's Chapel lasted about an hour. New companions were installed, prayers were said, ancient rituals were observed, and then the King and Queen were the first to depart. As is tradition, the monarch leaves before anyone else. Charles and Camilla climbed into a horse-drawn carriage, the same carriage that has been used for Garter Day processions for generations. The horses were perfectly groomed. The carriage gleamed in the June sunlight. The crowds cheered, the guards saluted, and the carriage began to move. As the carriage pulled away from St. George's Chapel, Kate, still standing on the famous chapel steps, dipped into her second curtsy of the day. Effortless, graceful, perfect, People magazine reported that she effortlessly pulled off her second curtsy as the royal couple's coach took off. This second curtsy was not required. The King was leaving. He was not looking directly at her. The cameras were focused on the carriage. No one would have noticed if she had simply stood there. But she curtsied anyway, because that is who Kate Middleton is. She respects the crown. She respects the institution. She respects her father-in-law, even when no one is watching. And let me take a moment to acknowledge Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh. Throughout the entire ceremony, Sophie curtsied in perfect coordination with Kate. They moved together, they dipped together, they honoured the King and Queen together. This is what royal duty looks like. Not drama, not controversy, just quiet, consistent, graceful service. Sophie has been a steady presence in the royal family for years. She rarely makes headlines. She does not seek attention. But she shows up. She curtsies. She supports. When Prince Andrew's scandals dominated the news, Sophie quietly continued her work. When Harry and Meghan left the family, Sophie stepped up without complaint. When the monarchy needed steady, reliable, scandal-free royals, Sophie was there. And on Garter Day 2026, she and Kate made the perfect pair, royal fans noticed. One wrote, Sophie and Kate together is the team the monarchy needs. Another said, two-class acts, perfect synchronization, perfect respect. Now, some people might ask, why does the curtsy still matter? Isn't it outdated? Isn't it sexist? Isn't it a symbol of an unequal society? Here is why the curtsy matters. The curtsy is not about bowing to a person. It is not about being inferior. It is about bowing to an institution. It is about acknowledging that the crown has stood for 1,000 years. It is about recognizing that the monarchy is bigger than any individual. When Kate curtsies to the king, she is not saying, I am less than you. She is saying the crown is greater than any of us. This is a distinction that critics of the monarchy often miss. So here is my question for you. Is the royal curtsy an outdated tradition or a beautiful sign of respect? Should future queens continue to curtsy, or is it time for the gesture to end? Comment below. I read every comment. Subscribe to Royal News Spot, because the truth about the future queen is a story worth telling. This is Royal News Spot, The Crown. Uncovered. See you in the next one.